the problem of suffering is solved by understanding how attachment works, because without attachment, there is no stress. Hey guys, Hector Castillo Papi from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about getting attached in relationships and why it's impossible not to. It's an inevitability. And coming to this understanding to the full degree that it's true is going to help you to actually deal with the pain of relationships and the fear of loss of relationships. And also it'll keep you from, some people maybe have the pride of, not wanting to get attached to people with, commitment issues, if you want to phrase it that way. Or the more like fuckboys and pimps who, I don't want to get attached, I'm going to stay single and free forever. But you're attached to even that as well. So to some degree, this is going to be a little bit of a almost Buddhist educational video and teaching you the nature of attachment and the inevitability of pleasure and stress that comes. It's the dual nature of being active in anything, the intellectual world, the physical world, the sensual world. If you're involved with something for a long period of time and it's producing strong emotions in you, attachment's going to happen. This is the nature of reality. This is a law of the universe almost. So what I want you to understand is, how does attachment happen and what is it going to do to you? So it could be your dog, it could be your family, it could be a friend, and in this case, a loved one, a romantic lover. If you spend time with someone, if you are having strong emotions to them, and in this case, it's going to be physical attraction, personality attraction, a feeling of camaraderie and like you two are similar, a feeling of cooperativeness, like you guys are in this together, you're a couple, you're a team, you guys have experiences together. You have adventures, you travel, you spend so much time just spending time together, sitting around, eating pizza, watching Netflix, and most importantly, and I think it's the strongest thing that we don't admit to ourselves, maybe because of maybe if I can speak right, hookup culture, we have become possibly desensitized to sex, and I think that we need to, and this is rich coming from me, right? But we need to understand that sex is very powerful, and that sex has a large effect on us and the women we're with. And so when you have sex with someone, it is one of the most attaching things that you literally, you're literally attaching to yourself to her from the inside, You guys become the beast with two backs. You become one thing, the key into the lock. So it drives so much of our life, I think. I think so much of the motivation of the world of conquest or making money or success, I think a lot of it is consciously or subconsciously the pursuit of sexual partners, or at least a serious partner. For men, it's wanting to impress women, and for women, it's wanting to get to the attention of the men that they want. But I think that sex is such a huge driving force in society and culture and most of our relationships. And I think that it is, because it's so powerful, we don't understand the full impact that it has on us. So time, emotions, experiences, and sex. Men, if you're in a relationship with a girl, you're going to be attached. It's even someone who is mature and who's had a lot of experience, because as you have experience in sexual partners, because this is very important for the new guys, but even the experienced guys, like, you're going to start to become desensitized as culture and possibly media and social media and hookup culture has maybe desensitized us to sex and not realize its full power. You have, when you get experience, a natural desensitization, but it's much more personal because you're personally experiencing sex and then break up, and sex, you never see her again, or sex, you see her a few times and it doesn't work out. And so you become numb to it almost. But when we think that we're that mature and detached and numb, yeah, sure, sometimes you can have sex with a girl and never remember her again, right? But when the other elements are there, a lot of time spent together. This is also something to remember when you're sleeping with a girl casually and you don't think it's going to turn into something serious, or you don't want it to turn into something serious, man, one of you is going to catch feelings. It is almost inevitable because, again, the conditions for attachment are there. If you're getting pleasure from something and you're looking forward to it, or being gratified by it, or possibly disappointed by it, because attachment has the dual nature, if something has emotional power over you, then it can do both things to you. It can make you feel pleasurable when you get it and it's great, or it can make you feel disappointed and sad or suffer when you don't get it, or you did have it and you lose it, or you did have it but it doesn't feel as good anymore either. And that's also why relationships, casual or serious, short-term, long-term, can be very devastating to us, because sometimes you can have the slow death where it's really nice and pleasurable, but then the years go on and it loses its luster. So when the conditions are there, you're going to become attached. It's an inevitability, and it's okay. If you want to play the game of, in Buddhist terms, samsara, the wandering, the pursuing things, and the struggle to get them, and then the disappointment of not getting them, or you get them and it's not what you expected. That game, especially within the sexual sphere and this romantic sphere, when you play this game, you're going to have a lot of idealisms that are going to be crushed, and you have a lot of expectations that are going to be met and exceeded, but sometimes not met. And I want you to always keep a level head, because you're going to become attached. But if you come at it from the understanding that you are going to be attached, this is actually going to make you not so attached. Not in an unhealthy way, because the reason for this video is because a lot of people are going to think that they're not going to be attached to things, and they think that that's somehow a solution to the problem of suffering. That's not how it works. The problem of suffering is solved by understanding how attachment works, because without attachment, there is no stress. Stress is a better translation of what the Buddha was talking about. So when you are understanding of the process of attachment that comes from hanging out with someone and spending time with them and fucking them and having good experiences and bad experiences, arguments and great nights, when you have that clusterfuck of experiences and emotions, attachment will happen. And knowing that you are going that way, you are starting to catch feelings for someone, but it's scary because you are afraid of what happened last time. You got cheated on, you got lied to. It was great, and then you just lost it. You lost your feelings for her, and it felt horrible to stay in a relationship with someone that you didn't feel that much for anymore, but she still felt the same way, or the opposite. It's very disheartening, and it's very sad sometimes. But then there also is the positive side. There's the pleasure, and there's the fun, and there's the sex, and there's the excitement. So when you have this, and you see it from an understanding perspective that you are going to get attached, when you fall into that attachment, it's going to be a responsible stupidity, maybe is a good way to put it. And so you're being stupid. You know that catching feelings makes you think retarded things. You're paranoid. You're jealous. You're attached. You're territorial. You think about them. You fear losing them. You wonder, why didn't they text you back 1 hour later? Or you're gonna be lost in a sea of emotions. But if you can always keep this kind of like firm pole that you hold on to, hold on to your own dick and understand where it's gonna guide you, Be aware that you're going in that direction, and you're catching feelings, and there is a strong possibility of suffering because one of you is eventually going to break up with the other, or one of you is going to die. There's two options there. The relationship is going to end, or one of you is going to be forced away from the relationship, okay? But maybe you meet them in another life. But even then, even if there's an infinite amount of lives, right? At some point, your journey will end, even if it's 100,000 million eons from now, right? So know that the conditions for attachment is time and emotions, and very especially sex, and that you will be caught in that river. But if you are aware that you are caught in the river, and don't try to lie to yourself that you are not going to be caught in the river, or if you're, going through one of those single phases and you're like, I'm never going to settle down. Yeah, fuck you, bro. You're definitely going to settle down. Every guy is eventually going to settle down, except for like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. It's so extraordinarily rare, not counting the ones who are involuntarily not going to be with someone, unfortunately. But a lot of it is due to their own choices. Moving on. If you understand that you're going in this direction and you understand it, then you are going to be more free, and you are going to actually be able to enjoy it more. And so your suffering will lessen because you understand that you're going to suffer. And so you see it like, instead of you're stuck in the car and going 100 miles per hour and you don't know where the fuck this is going or what's going to happen or when you're going to crash, you're watching yourself going in the car 100 miles per hour. You know that this is a crazy ride and some crazy shit's gonna happen, but because you're from the outside, it doesn't feel so bad. So whether you're single, you're in a relationship that's fading, that's growing, that's loving, there are gonna be changes and there's gonna be chaos and there's gonna be times of loneliness when you're not in a relationship, right? You're gonna be attached to something you don't have. Is another subtle, hard to understand perspective on this, is that when you're single, you're gonna be craving a relationship. You're gonna be craving, or just sex, you're gonna be craving connection. And if you understand that, well, sometimes you're gonna be single, sometimes because of your own choices, sometimes because of, causation and what you might call fate. It could be a mix. This is part of the ride. And seeing it will help you relieve a lot of your stress. And that's the point of this video, is I want you to be relieved of stress and understand that attachment's gonna happen no matter how good you are, no matter I know a lot about girls. I know a lot about myself. I've probed the depths of my psychology and my mind almost to the full extent, and the full extent of women. And I think I've come to a very clear and comprehensive understanding, but I still get attached. If I love a girl, I love a girl. And I understand that I'm in love. And I used to deny it for a long time because I thought this mastery gave me a detachment. And it does to a certain extent, but if I love a girl, I still love a girl. If I lust after a girl, I still lust after her. And there is a feeling of craving. And when there's craving, there's stress. But if you understand that, you'll have less of it. Okay, cool. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com, here to give you some fucking philosophy lessons. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Instagram. See you soon. Ciao.